What's up, everybody? Appreciate you for tuning in to the On the Ball podcast. It is a Thursday. We're back with you. Got a lot to talk about. We're going to talk a lot of NBA, obviously, with the play-in going on, which concludes tomorrow, and then the playoffs kicking off this weekend. A lot of interesting matchups. So, obviously, get everybody's opinion on the series and I guess favorites based on the path to the finals. But before we get into all that, upper right, we got Ian. Yeah, how you doing tonight, Ian?
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
I'm good. I'm good. Can't complain. I mean, it's playoff time. It's best time for us NBA fans, and if you're a hockey fan as well, you got NHL playoffs also. Upper left, not guarding the two, he's guarding the three. Brett, how are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. Just like my headline reads, it's a parade inside my city, yeah, because Glenn is finally off my basketball team. Thank the Lord. I am the happiest man alive today. So I can't be more excited to talk hoops. Say that guy is out of the state. That's the nicest I can say about him. So I'm happy to move on from that.
I mean, you're saying that now. You don't know who's replacing him. Could be
We
somebody worse.
we could replace him with my dog Brody, and honestly, I would accept that.
Um, I mean, look, that was obviously news that did happen, and I feel like there's a lot of Bucks fans that are feeling the same way that you are, and glad that the Doc Rivers era is over. So, actually, before we even get into it, uh, Ian, we did talk about this a little bit. I guess you guys were talking about it a little bit before we went live. I just want to get your thoughts on the Dexter Lawrence thing from a Giants fan. You know, they say talks are at an impasse. He seems unhappy. Harbaugh now moving in there. What's your take on it? What's the pulse of the Giants fans?
Well, losing Dexter Lawrence would be a huge loss. Dexter creates a lot of opportunities for the edge rushers that we do have. So losing him is really not an option. And if you're going to lose him, you need to get quite the package for him. Another player along with a first round pick. And I think that's what they're looking to get for him. But from what I've seen is that the trade talks or the contract talks are at an impasse. I'm not sure if he's just asking too much. I haven't found anything that says what he's looking for. He still does have 2 years under contract, but obviously that's not enough for him to feel secure in his position. So he wants more, and I don't blame him. He's great cornerstone for the Giants, and to move on from him would be really tough. But if we can't make a deal, then hopefully we get quite a haul from him.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, look, he was obviously a big part of their defensive front, and I'm sure Harbaugh would love to have him continue to be so. So, they're at an impasse now, but obviously things can change pretty quickly. All it would take is, maybe a new number to slide across the table, and Dexter will all of a sudden feel like, yeah, I want to be a Giant forever. So, obviously, a situation worth watching.
He does have a Giants tattoo, so that would kind of be hard to kind of got to cover up my arm now. I got that New York symbol on my arm. Can't get rid of it now.
Go in and get it transitioned to something else. I don't know what he would do, but cover it up with something.
Yeah.
I guess even Brett. I know your football team. I'm sure you're crying over Dontavian Wicks no longer being a Packer.
It really does suck, actually. I was
Okay.
always a big Dontavian Wicks guy. He's so good at creating separation. While he does have hands issues, like you could see the potential with him. So the Eagles definitely got a good one. Honestly, when my roommate asked me if I'd rather keep Reed or Wicks, I'll be the first to admit I picked Wicks.
Okay.
So I've always been a big Dontavian Wicks guy, and all I can say is I absolutely wish him the best in Philly.
All right. Yeah, I just wanted to get a little quick NFL out of the way, especially with your two teams being involved, and obviously with the Dontavian Wicks thing to Philly, that all gets tossed in with the AJ Brown stuff, which I'm over it until he actually moves. Like all we're doing is talking about a guy who's currently an Eagle and doesn't seem like there's any need to make a move right now. But we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna talk NBA. So let's get started there. The play-in tournament. I guess first off, are you guys fans of the play-in tournament, or what's your feelings on the whole structure of 7 versus 8, 9 versus 10, winner of 9 versus 10 facing the loser of 7 versus 8? You think it's too much, or are you a fan of it?
I like it because it creates more opportunities for the teams that may have just missed out, and then we get more basketball on top of it. So it's a win-win for everybody.
That's my stance. I like that. I mean, Golden State, had a pretty rough season, but they were missing Steph Curry for a while. They were a team that had a terrible record, but I think people can understand when you have Steph Curry, there's always a chance. But Brett, you a fan of the play-in?
Oh, absolutely. I've definitely I'll always enjoy more basketball at the end of the day. I think this is just a fun way to, make the playoffs a little more interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll take it. I've always been a fan of the play-in.
Yeah. So looking at the play-in, I feel like the biggest story, I guess we'll say, was the LaMelo Ball incident with Bam Adebayo. And if you're watching and you hadn't seen the play, LaMelo Ball going to the hoop, goes to the ground. Bam has the ball. LaMelo reaches out, grabs around his ankle. Bam falls back on his back, tailbone area, and he can't return to the game. And we obviously know how that game ended with the Hornets on a late drive by LaMelo Ball, eliminating the Miami Heat. Looking at the LaMelo Ball play, did you think it was an unfortunate incident? Do you think it was dirty? Because we all know you always have to wonder if a play is dirty or not. And how should the league handle LaMelo Ball? I think they fined him or something. Do you think he should have been suspended?
They were never going to suspend him.
I mean, the way I felt like that as well. I thought that a fine would probably be what they would do, but
no,
Spoelstra was heated. Heat fans obviously heated.
And,
so, yeah,
and they should be. Look, if this was like a regular season game, he would have been suspended. He would have been, fined. But they're not going to do that in the play and just, fine him, retroactively upgrade his flagrant to a flagrant 2 and just move on. They're not going to take away their big attraction for their second play-in game. So, should Bam be upset? Absolutely. Because we all saw it. It wasn't the fact he fell. It's he reached his arm out and it kind of swiped at his legs. Now, it'll be interesting to see what happens because Bam obviously, because Bam said, LaMelo never came to see him to talk about it. Then a report comes out that he tried, but Bam was in the shower. So who knows? Who knows? Maybe next season, if this doesn't get solved, there'll be interesting to watch those Heat and Hornets games.
Yeah. And I mean, I think that's a good point because obviously them being in the same division, I think it's a division that if you look at the Hornets, the Hawks, and the Heat, at least you feel like it's very competitive. The Wizards will figure out whenever they figure out what they want to be. So yeah, I do think that this kind of incident could bring a lot of heat, I guess no pun intended, to the divisional games next season. But yeah, so Ian, what'd you think about the Ball situation? How the league should have handled it? Was it dirty? Unfortunate? Just yeah.
With plays like that, when you're intentionally doing something, you may not have the intent of hurting somebody, but obviously it could happen with something like that. So Ball, knowing that, should not have done it. Just let the play keep going, man. I know you're upset in the moment. You're trying to help your team out, whatever it may be, but just let the play go. You're putting somebody else's possible career on the line by trying to trip them up, and it's just not a good play, not a good look for LaMelo. But like Brett said, those Heat Hornet games are going to be real interesting next year.
Yeah. So then, I guess looking at the rest of that game, like I said, obviously not having Bam affected, I guess, the Heat's ability late in the game to close out, I guess we'll say. I'm trying to see how to ask this question. All right, so looking at it from the Heat perspective, is it me or the fact that the Heat down the stretch was like giving the ball to Tyler Hero and making him kind of bail him out or lead them to the promised land? I was confused by that because Tyler Hero's having a rough night. I also don't think Tyler Hero's that kind of guy. Andrew Wiggins was having the better night, and Andrew Wiggins like never got the ball in overtime. Was that a problem for you, or did you not have an issue with some of the shot selection? I guess because we're not supposed to really question Spoelstra. He's a great coach and everything, but I thought a lot of the tactics that they were using and their game plan, I don't know. I didn't like a lot of it, and I thought the Heat kind of let the Hornets off the hook because the Hornets, as Stephen A. has put it, like they can beat you and they can also beat themselves. They had a lot of undisciplined play as well, and it's like the Heat didn't punish them for it. So I guess looking at that, do you still think the Hornets are the Hornets still are the Hornets a good team and the Heat are just no, I don't want to ask it that way. Did the Hornets win the game and did the Heat lose it, or did I ask that correctly? Did the Hornets win it or did the Heat lose that game? Yeah, we'll leave it at that.
You asking that question reminds me of the Russell Westbrook interview. I'm sorry.
It's just like, I don't know. It's one of those questions like I hate when first somebody asks it. But I'm like, in this instance, was it more so the Heat kind of shooting themselves in the foot? Or did the Hornets like go out and actually, I guess, elevate their play in a playoff atmosphere and actually win the game?
Yes. It's just both, right? The Heat couldn't, punish the Hornets enough, and the Hornets really tried to give them the game away. We all saw the foul that LaMelo commits on the 3-point shot. Like, they tried so hard to give that game away, but the Heat just couldn't take advantage of it. As far as Wiggins getting more touches, I think it's a bit challenging, and when you get to overtime, because Wiggins a lot of the times is the primary defender on your best wing player.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a bit tough because with him being kind of like the main two-way guy, I doubt he had much like legs or juice left in overtime to really try to sit there creating. So I don't mind the idea of going to Hero, but I would love to see some more creativity in the actual play calling itself. Because, hey, like I said, Wiggins, everybody was probably tired, but I'd love to see just some more off-ball action instead of just trying to play the bailout game.
Yeah, like your answer was a better response than my question actually was. So I appreciate that. Yeah, so I guess Ian, looking at the way the game went, because I also was watching it and I wondered, I don't know, Brett, you wanted this as well, because I know you're a big Khalil Ware guy. He didn't foul out, I don't remember. Why was he not out there on that last possession?
Oh, on the defensive possession?
Yeah, the one where LaMelo goes to the rim and lays it in. Wouldn't it have been nice to have an athletic big who could have possibly gotten over there and maybe altered that?
Oh, it is because Khalil Ware has the discipline of my dog when I pull out snacks. Genuinely, the problem with Khalil Ware is he's just kind of undisciplined.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think Spo could actually trust him to be out there. He kind of has some Hassan Whiteside in him. And if you ever watched Hassan Whiteside, that man would get out of position to get blocks. Like, he is rotating way too early. So I just don't think in that situation you can really get, him out there, because genuinely, I as much as I think he has potential, I don't think I could trust him to make the right rotation, or not just rotate ridiculously early and give up a dunk. So overall, I just think defensively speaking, he's just a bit too raw on that end to be thrust into a high profile situation like that.
That's fair. I also didn't understand why Hawkins was like bodying up LaMelo up at the top. It's like
Like,
you leave LaMelo alone, he's probably going to take some weird one-footed step back three. I'd rather that than you bodying him and giving him a lane to the hoop where nobody's there covering you. I thought that was one of those, kind of as Jordy put it, supposed to be a genius. What kind of defensive call was that? But
I can't imagine the funny part is I can't imagine the play call was to absolutely press the heck out of Melo because
I would hope not. Yeah.
like you play off of him and just try to. I'd rather him take a 30-footer than a 3-footer. So why you'd have a smaller defender on him and then press him? I can't imagine that was part of the game plan. But I say maybe like I think Hawkins just might have gotten too aggressive there because I genuinely do not think that Spo called that.
Well, let's hope not. There's Ian. I guess what was your reaction to Hornets Heat?
Honestly, kind of surprised with how both teams seem to be just trading back and forth. Like, you have this game, you have this game, you have this game. It was just like Brett said, like nobody really wanted to take opportunities or take advantage of the opportunities that they had and really come away with this one. It really came down. I mean, Miles Bridges kind of saved the day for the Hornets on that. I mean, who knows if that would have gone in or not, and then the Heat would have won. But, it really came down to those final seconds and makes for a fun game. But also, I feel like the Hornets, if they had actually taken advantage of the opportunities that the Heat gave them, that they could have won this easily without overtime.
That I agree with as well. I felt like the Hornets were clearly the better team. Especially when you have Davion Mitchell taking 24, 25 shots for you. Like, he shot 50%, good for him. But, yeah, I didn't necessarily like some of his late game possessions either.
I think he's going to be beating himself up for that end of the game, that last possession.
Yeah.
They got behind the defense, but Davion had his head down to barrel towards the basket, so he just missed the game-winning layup.
Yeah. But, that's where these games are won or lost, little details like that. I guess looking at the Magic Sixers, let's be honest. The Magic were a frustrating watch, which is what they've been most of the season. Sixers, look, Tyrese Maxey's pretty good. But I don't think anybody learned that either. So I feel like that game's kind of self-explanatory. I do want to talk about Warriors Clippers. I thought that game was very entertaining, and you look at that, the Clippers, new building, they're trying to be this new brand, get away from being the Lakers' little brother sharing the building with them. This was their opportunity to, capture a playoff-like game and, move on in the play-in tournament. And all they did was have Kawhi Leonard score 2 points in the fourth quarter when he was needed. They get outscored by 13 points in the fourth quarter. And for some reason, they couldn't cover Steph Curry. I almost felt bad for Brook Lopez a little bit there. All those dribble handoffs that he was kind of tasked with sticking to Steph Curry. And, he gave him too much space, which is something I saw in that final series where Horford was kind of caught in that same no man's land, and he kept giving Curry too much room. And Curry, as well as Draymond Green, ultimately lead the Warriors to a win over the Clippers. So once again, what were your thoughts from that game? Can the Warriors keep this going and actually earn a playoff spot? What does this mean for the Clippers going forward? Was this the last time we've seen Kawhi as a Clipper? Like, what are your thoughts?
I say it was fun to watch that fourth quarter, actually, because like Draymond Green for like a 5-minute period just like turned back into prime Draymond Green because he had Kawhi absolutely clamped. There is nothing that Kawhi could do to get a shot off against Dre in that last like 5-minute stretch. Overall, I thought that was a lot of fun to watch. It probably should be Kawhi's last game as a Clipper. I think you're looking at a situation where there's a very real chance that he's a lock for an All-NBA team, and there's actually a very real chance he's All-NBA first team. And I don't think his value gets any higher than this. You're not winning a title with him.
True.
So if you want to hold on to him, I'm all for hanging on to superstars. If they want to stay, you want to do right by them and let them hang around, whatever. But if you're looking to build the next iteration of the Clippers around Darius Garland, I would absolutely trade Kawhi Leonard before he falls off a cliff and his value just tanks.
Sir, Ian?
Yeah, like Brett said, like Draymond just really rewound the clock and just put the clamps on Kawhi. Kawhi was just struggling. This Clippers game was very entertaining, especially with the Warriors coming back in that fourth quarter and outscoring them by 11 points. That was just tremendous basketball to watch. But yeah, this is probably, I agree with Brett, this is probably Kawhi's last game as a Clipper. Take his value always high, get what you can get for him, and just try to build something from it.
That's fair. I mean, look, I guess 2026, 2027, Kawhi Leonard, well, I guess we'll see if there is value there. Obviously, he's a name, so they'll find a trade partner for him. I mean, I just don't know exactly what Kawhi Leonard next season is as a player because, yes, if you look at the Clipper situation, if he comes back there, probably we would expect the Clippers to probably be in a similar situation once again next season. And is it really worth it? But if they are able to, get a team to maybe give them some young assets and, they can continue this kind of solo brand with the new arena and everything with a new young group, then yeah, why not do that? I don't see why you wouldn't. Okay. So we now know that the setup is Magic Hornets to face off on Friday to face the Pistons potentially. And then in the West, we have the Suns and the Warriors facing off against each other to face the Thunder. Looking at those two games on Friday, who do you have winning them? And does either one of them give the number one seeds any reason to worry? I feel like I know the answer for the West because we all know that the Thunder are a really good team, but I think the Pistons matchup is going to be an interesting one. So who do you have winning Magic Hornets and Suns Warriors?
There's only one answer who needs to face the Pistons in round one, and that's the Charlotte Hornets. I need the most toxic first round series, and in order to get there, it has to be Detroit and Charlotte, who have randomly developed like beef throughout the year. So you know what? I love Orlando. They've been a fun ascension to watch. Mm-hmm. Even though it's been a rough year this year, they still went from 39 wins to 45. There's improvement, but obviously they need more. But give me Charlotte. I really need that. I really need that Hornets Pistons first round.
Okay. And in the West, Suns or Warriors? Who you have?
I'm gonna go with the Warriors.
Okay. Ian, do you have the same picks? Or are you picking differently?
No, I have the same picks. I think the Hornets should take that pretty easily, especially with how Banchero's been playing and how his shooting efficiency has been. I feel like the Hornets should be able to take this no problem. And then I agree with the Warriors pick as well. Steph Curry coming back and just being Steph, that's going to help them a lot. But I really don't think that's going to be anything for the Thunder to worry about.
Right. Yeah. I agree. I mean, look, Brett has built up the Magic for a couple of years now. On paper, you look at them, you're like, this team should be much better. And then they just have these performances where you're just like, yeah, if they could get a better point guard who maybe would push Paolo more to the paint, maybe if the coach would draw up a different scheme, like maybe they just need vets. Like I don't know what the Magic key is to unlock this Orlando team, but the fact that looking at before the season and now they're hoping to beat a Hornets team just to make the playoffs seems crazy to me. I don't know. That's just me though.
They need a new point guard. They need a new coach. They need a new offensive system that actually has player and ball movement, less ISO. Like that, I think it can be fixed. I think they actually have a solid squad, but I definitely think you need to change your scheme up. I think you need a new point guard. I don't think you're winning. I don't think you're winning with Jalen Suggs, but I don't know if that's just me, but I say I'm not sold on Suggs being the point guard of even an Eastern Conference Finals team.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I mean, are you buying into the whole Banchero Wagner, that there's the issue there between the two of them sharing the court?
It's always awkward. They're both better with the ball in their hands, so I mean it is an awkward fit. It does seem like it is kind of an issue. Like they seem like they get along personally, but on the court their games just don't they don't really work well together at all. So yeah, I do think that there's an on-court issue, and I think one of them is going to have to really spend the offseason learning how to play off the ball, at least. Preferably both of them, but yeah, if at least one of them could figure out how to weaponize themselves more off the ball, that would do wonders for the Magic.
Okay, so let's both do this. If you were the Magic, who do you approach out of the two to make them make that change?
You know, I feel like Paulo has a better off-ball skill set than Franz. Okay. So I would probably talk to Paulo. Like I said, I feel like Paulo's just more versatile, explosive. He'll say yeah, I'll take Paulo if I was going to have to ask either one of those two.
All right. Would you do the same, Ian?
I might go different. I might say Franz just because I feel like Paulo's efficiency is just not there most of the time. And I feel like Franz is definitely better, like Brett said, like with the ball in his hand. He's just a great offensive player for them. And I feel like that's who the person I would be talking to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, good.
No, I'm saying I hope to see Franz show up more than he did on instead in that Sixers game. Look, I get it. Paulo he deserves the bulk of the blame. Definitely, his failure to ascend to legit number one option status is a problem.
Mm-hmm.
But man, I feel like too many people are overlooking the fact that Jalen Suggs and Franz just kind of dipped for the entire game, and obviously Paulo needs to be more efficient. But at the same time, like when both your number 2 and 3 options just I'd say not even number 2 and probably like at this point 3 and 4 options just kind of disappear, and it's only you and Bane that have a chance of doing anything. I feel like it almost looked like he felt pressured to just keep shooting because it wasn't those two tonight. But the problem is when it comes to the playoffs, it never seems to be Franz's or Suggs' night. So
yeah,
no, Suggs shot horrible. He was 1 for 9. But I mean, Franz did have a better game. He was 5 for 11. But yeah, like I know what you mean.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think Suggs' issue has always kind of been, would he even be able to make shots consistently for you to actually fear him out there? And like Brett said, and I've watched the Magic a few times this year, I feel like I can't remember any time where Suggs was like a legit threat on the perimeter. And if you're to go against some of these teams and it's like 4-on-5, then yeah, you're gonna struggle.
I would say Jalen Suggs plays the great brand of CTE ball. He's going to do one of two things for you. He is halfback diving into the paint with 3 people in there, and he's throwing up the most ridiculous shot ever, or he's ripping off the most ridiculous step back you've ever seen in your life. Like, it really feels like with Suggs, he could do it. He could be this productive member of a championship team, but his IQ and shot selection has got to go way up. Like, you got to, like, first off, you actually have to look for your other players. And Suggs is just geared towards shooting first, weirdly enough. And I'm like, dude, I don't want you to shoot first. Give that thing to Bane and get out of the way for Jalen.
Yeah. And Jory, I actually did not even know this. So there we go. So let's take a look at the First round series as we know them to be, because obviously we're going to look at the number one seeds. We'll pencil in the Hornets and the Warriors right now because that's who we agree, or at least we predict will meet up with them. But I guess first question before we get actually into them, which series do you think has the largest spread? I guess for game one.
The largest spread?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
And I'll tell you the number is minus 12 and a half.
I feel like it's whoever the Trent.
Well, the one seeds aren't in this yet because I guess since they don't know the opponent, there's no line.
Oh, I was thinking of the one seed. Okay, one seeds. I'm like, oh.
Is George guessing Lakers Rockets?
I don't know. Like this. Oh, go for it.
I'm gonna say it's your team, the Celtics Sixers.
Okay. All right.
You know what? I forgot that was an option. Because you said the 1 or 2 seeds aren't picked out yet, so I'm like, oh, you know what? Yeah, I think Celtics Sixers sounds about right. I'll go Celtics.
It is Celtics Sixers. Yeah, the line's 12 and a half. Second would be Spurs Blazers at 10 and a half for the Spurs.
Yeah, that's fair.
Then we got Cavs Raptors. It's Cavs minus 8 and a half. Then it's Nuggets Wolves. The Nuggets are minus 6 and a half. Jory, your Lakers Rockets. It's only Rockets minus 5 and a half, which is tied with Knicks minus 5 and a half over the Hawks for the smallest odds. Let's start out west. I mean, Jory brought up Lakers Rockets. That's the 4-5 matchup out west. We know the, I guess, potential injuries with the Lakers. You know, LeBron's there, yes, but Reeves looks like he'll be missed, and Luka, we don't know necessarily his timetable. Looking at that matchup, I guess who do you have winning it, and how many games do you have it?
Ooh, it's you're telling me we got Steph and Draymond going crazy and the LeBron having to do a carry job? Oh, it's 2016 all over again. I'm still right. It feels like it. Let's say a little blast to the past. Yeah, I'm still gonna go with the Lakers. So I'll take the Lakers in 6.
Okay.
I'm just not sold on the spacing in Houston outside of I'd say outside of KD. And you're asking Reed Shepherd to, deliver good spacing in his first playoff series. I think the spacing is going to be all out of whack. I think they're going to be able to crowd Sengun and KD. So I think it's going to be a rough one. Rough one for Houston, but I think they'll keep it close. So I think it's going to be Lakers in 6.
Okay. I mean, look, we talk about the Magic as a frustrating watch. The Rockets are the same team just out west. Like they have their moments in their half court where you're just like, it can't be this difficult. But Ian, how do you have that series playing out?
I agree with Brett. I have the Lakers winning in 6 games. I just don't feel like they really have too much going for them except for KD.
Okay. Hey, Jory, look, your team's got support on here. I feel like there's Lakers fans who are, dreading this series or whatever. But what's up, Andre? Yeah, it's rough.
I think if I ever went to a Rockets game, I would wear a football helmet if I sat courtside, because I know at least one or two jumpers is coming right at me.
Mm-hmm. Oh, look, love Amen Thompson as a defender. Same stuff we said about Suggs with the Magic, you could probably say about Amen Thompson. And there's actually a game I was watching. He had like a little floater in the lane. It hit nothing but backboard, and I was like, wow. This is where we are, Houston basketball.
It's like I saw something similar. I can't remember. I think it might have been against the Clippers, but yeah, they got an offensive rebound, kicked it to an open Amen who He shot that thing like he was trying to put it through the rim. It was just straight line drive into the side of the rim.
Yeah.
I'm like, what was that, man? Like,
Yeah.
like, did you think you were going to shooters touch it like up and in? Like, what do you? Yeah, I like him and Thompson. He does have a almost great all around game. He's just got to figure out how to weaponize himself on offense. And I don't think it comes down to he needs to be an elite 3-point shooter by tomorrow. If he can even develop like a really good floater and like a 10, 15 footer, maybe hit the lab with DeMar DeRozan or something. If he doesn't have, doesn't have the range for, 3-pointers, that would help him a ton.
Yeah. We giving the T-Wolves any chance? Well, hey, hold on. We're getting to that series, and you'll find out. Look, I thought if you were the Lakers dealing with the injuries that you are, the one team you probably wanted to face in the first round was probably Houston, because Houston has their own issues. We know about the whole burner account thing, which we all talked about. So for me, it's like if you're LA, get this series as deep as you can, 6-7 games, and put to test kind of KD and his ability to lead, because we all know he is not a leader. So I think the more the Lakers can frustrate Houston, the quicker Houston's ready to kind of pack it up and move on to next year. Rockets lose this series, heads will roll. I'm kind of rooting for that. What's up, Mo?
Yeah, let's go,
Mo. So yeah, I actually was going to take Lakers in 7. I just feel like the longer it goes, the more frustrated KD becomes, and I don't know, maybe the more heads will roll in Houston. Plus, I have a little thing out for Ime, because everybody tries to hate on my guy Mazzulla and wants Ime back. Mazzulla's a better coach. I'm saying it, so there we go. So, Andre, here you go. We got Nuggets, Timberwolves in a 3-6 matchup. So once again, how do you see this series playing out?
I think the series is going to be a lot of fun. For some reason, the Wolves always give problems to the Nuggets, but that was when they had Karl Anthony Towns and they could play him on Jokic and just have Rudy kind of roam off of Aaron Gordon or whoever they want.
Mm-hmm.
But the reality is, I just don't think it happens. I'd love to see a Timberwolf winning. This series has produced one of my all-time favorite playoff moments. Of course, I'm talking about Game 7, Rudy Gobert post fade to put the Wolves up 4. That being said, I think the Nuggets take this one, and I think it's a series. I think it goes all the way to 7. But we're talking about this team has like 8. I think I saw a stat. It was like 38 to 40% 3-point shooters. They're deep in shooting. Mm-hmm. This is a team that when they need to turn it up in the playoffs, they always seem to find a way to get to that next level they need to. So overall, I think it's going to be a series. Jaden McDaniels, Rudy Gobert, Anthony Edwards. That's a tough squad, but yeah, give me the Nuggets in 7.
Okay. Ian?
Yeah, I feel like this series is going to be really fun to watch. It's going to be back and forth blows between both sides, and I agree with Brett. I think this is going to take all the way to 7, but I'll have the Timberwolves coming out on top of this one, though.
Okay.
You know what they got to do to ice the game? Just give it to Rudy in the post. If he hits the fade, it's over.
He got that an image of that shot framed is on his wall somewhere in his house.
I've never called the game over like 7 minutes left in the third quarter whenever that shot happened. But as soon as he hit that, like, everybody go home. Wrap it up. I don't really care how the rest of this game goes. We know who's winning.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. I think in this one, I'll take Denver in 6. I do think the way Jokic is playing, the way that Jokic just elevates everybody around him and the positions he puts them in, I think they'll be too much ultimately for a Minnesota team that we have seen the past couple of years go on runs deep into the playoffs. They seem to be up for this challenge, but I just think Denver is the wrong team for them to face right now. All right, so the 2-7 matchup, we have the Spurs and the Trailblazers, who made out of the play-in and upset the Suns. I guess I guess I have to ask this: like, how do you see this playing out? And do you give the Blazers any chance in this one?
No.
Can the Blazers win a game at least?
No.
All right, so you got a sweep. All
I
right.
think the Spurs should straight up sweep them. I think the problem you run into with this Blazers team is just how many non-shooting threats that they have. And there are certain teams, if you have non-shooting threats, you can get away with it.
Yeah.
But when you're facing Wemby and you're going to give him an avenue to park in the paint, the Blazers, if this series even goes to 5, the Blazers better be shooting like 100% on their jumpers because that paint is locked down. And when you can sit Wemby and even bring in a quality backup like Luke Cornett, who can also just kind of camp in the paint, not worry about it, because the Blazers don't really have a ton of great pull-up shooters. Like, you just make sure you get around screens and get to Denny, but outside of that, Drew Holiday can do it occasionally, but Drew Holiday also just completely bottoms out offensively in the playoffs. So I think it's just going to put too much pressure on Denny, and I think Denny will have like at least one 30-piece, but I just don't see the supporting cast able to really make the Spurs pay at all.
Okay, that's fair. I mean, look, Blazers have Al Horford 2.0 and Rob Williams. You see him knocking down those corner threes. He's good for a game or two. I'm kind of surprised his game has kind of evolved into that, but maybe that's a way for him to try to stay healthy. I don't know. But Ian, do you have the Blazers at least winning a game, or are you picking a sweep as well?
No, I have the Spurs sweeping them. Like Brett said, like they really don't really have any. I can't really trust any of their shooters in the playoffs right now besides Avdija. So I mean, I'm just saying that the Spurs are probably just gonna roll over them.
Okay. I'm gonna give the Blazers a game, just because. Why not? Maybe Avdija goes off, he drops another 40-piece in a game, and they squeak one by the Spurs. So I'll take the Spurs in 5 in this one. All right, so we'll assume the Warriors beat the Suns. If it's Thunder Warriors, how would you have that series playing out? I guess it'd be Thunder in how many games? I feel like everybody would pick the Thunder anyway.
5.
Thunder in 5. Okay.
Like this is a great run that the Warriors are having in the play-in, but there's just levels to this, and the Thunder obviously have a team that they can actually just switch guys onto Curry. They can fight around ball screens and just kind of navigate those actions a lot easier than other teams, just due to how many insane defensive weapons they have between Caruso. Somebody who should be in consideration for all NBA first team, Cason Wallace, Lou Dort. Like, there's just a lot of guys you can throw at Curry and wear him down. So I do think Curry goes nuclear. He might go for 51 game. Wouldn't surprise me, but I would be shocked if this series went any longer than 5.
Okay. Ian, are you along the same lines? You give the Warriors more of a chance? How do you see it?
I'll give the Warriors a little bit more of a chance. I'll have the Thunder taking it in 6. I do think that the way that they showed some grit against the Clippers and how they came back from that, I just really think that they can kind of translate. Not saying that the Clippers are as tough of a team as the Thunder at all, but just showing that, all right, they can buckle down in the playoffs. They can come together as a team and get ahead and win the game. Showing that they still have some grit, I feel like they could maybe squeak out 2, but that's max for them. I feel like. So I'll have the Thunder in 6.
All right. I'm kind of along the lines of Brett. I'll take the Thunder in 5, but we'll obviously get one of those, Curry type games where he's just on fire, and that will be the game that they win. I think they'll be competitive in maybe another game or two. Like, it won't be an easy 5 for OKC, but yeah, they ended in 5. Like, they're clearly the better team. They have the pieces in place to obviously at least make it more difficult on Curry than he would like, obviously. And if you can slow down Curry, you're now asking I guess Porzingis to step up, or Podziemski, or Horford's gonna have to turn to playoff Horford and bail him out or something like that. I don't know if I see that happening in this series. All right, let's go to the East. Let's start with, I guess we'll do the same way. 4-5 matchup. We have the Cavs and the Raptors. Kind of an interesting matchup here with style of play. The Cavs bring in James Harden for these moments, and the Raptors are, Scotty Barnes and a lot of, I guess, interesting pieces that they put together. So how do you see this series playing out?
I think this is going to be an interesting series. We're going to see a lot of Cavs trying to they seem to always love to go to that James Harden pick and roll. That's Harden's bread and butter. I think the challenge will be just, if you're the Cavs, avoid turnovers. Easier said than done. Mm-hmm. This Raptors team is long, so it's hard to make these passes through a sea of hands. Which, when you have Jared Allen and Evan Mobley and you want to play them both, it's going to be crowded in the paint. So they're saving. They're going to have they're going to force a lot of outside jumpers. We'll see if the Cavs can knock them down, and they're going to force Evan Mobley to shoot some outside jumpers. Can he knock them down consistently?
But I brought up Mobley because that's the guy who I feel like will decide how far into the playoffs the Cavs actually go.
But I'll take the Cavs in the first round. Give me Cavs in 6.
Okay. Ian, what do you have?
I agree with that line of thinking. I'll take the Cavs in 6. It's just going to be a tough one, especially like you said with Mobley. I do agree with that. He's going to determine how far they do go in the playoffs, just with his consistency and how he's going to play. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I'll take the Cavs winning this one.
Okay. Yeah, I have the Cavs winning as well. Questions with the Raptors. Like, if the Raptors are playing like the Hornets type of pace, they'll probably do a lot better because they are a team that's going to try to thrive off of, like you said, Brett. If the Cavs take care of the ball, that makes it just that much harder on the Raptors to consistently score, to keep up with the Cavs team where you have Donovan Mitchell, you have Harden, and Mobley as guys who can go off on certain nights. So, yeah, I feel like if I'm the Raptors, I probably would have liked to have seen maybe a different team here. So I'll take the Cavs in 6 as well. I think the Raptors are at least good enough to win. If not both games in Toronto, maybe squeak one out in Cleveland and then take one in Toronto to extend it out to a 6th game. All right, 3-6 matchup. I think this is a series that a lot of people are looking at. You have the Knicks and the Hawks. The Hawks the Hawks were a good team when Trae Young was hurt early in the season. Then Trae Young came back. They kind of forgot how to play. Then they traded him away, and the Hawks became a good team again. And they're going up against a Knicks team that we know, a lot of pressure on this team to deliver a title to that city. So who do you have winning this matchup and how many games?
Oh man, I'll still take the Knicks. I'll take them in 6. The Hawks have had a nice run, but I just think the Knicks are deeper and they have better top end talent. I think it's going to be a fun series. I think they're actually still two very, very closely matched teams. So I'll still take I'll take the Knicks at 7 actually.
Knicks at 7, okay.
I think it'll be 7-2 because I feel like the X factor for the Knicks is Mikal Bridges. You traded 5 firsts for him. He's been disappointing this year. It's go time. What do you got in you?
He's going to be the guy. If they lose to the Hawks, everybody's going to be looking at Mikal Bridges. Like you said, that's what comes with being traded for 4 or 5 picks. Like, you're supposed to be he's supposed to be obviously the number 2 to Jalen Brunson's 1. Now it's kind of obviously turned into Cat, but yeah, Bridges definitely has to step his game up. Ian, how do you have it going?
I'll have the Knicks in 6. I feel like Brunson and Cat will have pretty good playoff performance here. I think maybe even Bridges steps it up a little bit, maybe shakes a little bit off the rust from the regular season, gets it going in the playoffs. That's all they can really hope for because next round's going to be tough for them too. So,
Okay. I'm not gonna lie. I'm kind of here with it. I have this weird feeling about this series that maybe the Knicks put too much pressure on themselves. Like if the Hawks can steal one of the games in New York, I feel like they win it in 6, and we really start to see some turmoil within the Knicks. And I think they're another team that if they don't make a conference finals, like they really have to start looking at that roster and maybe make some moves. Like I don't know necessarily what moves they would make. Like we already know if the Knicks lose, we'll probably hear, Brett's favorite reporter, Sean's talking about, Cat and Giannis or some type of random rumor. I don't know, but I have the Hawks winning this. I think Jalen Johnson will. I think most nights could be seen as maybe the best player on the court. My only worry in picking the Hawks is, are they the type of team that would let Cat kind of just go wild from 3, and that's what ends up sinking them? But I'll take the Hawks. I'll take this new look Hawks without Trae Young. I think they will be too athletic for the Knicks team. So I'll take them in 6 because I actually do have Hawks in 6 as well.
Oh, maybe the Knicks just need to consult Stephen A on what offseason moves to make.
I mean, look, Stephen A's been going through it with the Knicks. Like I'm sure he probably has a notebook full of deals that he would make if he was running the Knicks. Some of them are probably crazy, but
and they're all the most unrealistic things ever.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, we'll just sign Jokic to the vet min. We're good.
Right. All right, the 2-7 matchup, Celtics Sixers. It's a deep hatred amongst cities, amongst teams. I feel like I heard that they faced off like 20 something times in the playoffs over their history or whatever. Mad Dog said it's the second best rivalry in basketball to Lakers Celtics. I don't know if I'd go that far, but the history's there. So who do you have winning this one, and how many games once again?
Celtics, I'll give it Celtics in 5.
Okay.
Say you got Joel Embiid's coming back from, appendicitis. Paul George just old. Like I feel like it'll just be too tough to go against Missoula and that Celtic squad. So I think somebody will go nuts. I think Maxey goes nuts and he staves off elimination, but I don't think this series goes anything past 5.
All right, Ian, what do you have?
I agree. I'll have the Celtics in 5. I just don't really think that Maxey can really carry this team by himself without a true number 2 scorer or efficient number 2 option. So I'll take the Celtics in 5.
Okay. I don't know. For some reason, I feel like this one goes 6, and I don't even know why. Well, I think part of it is the Celtics had so much turnover, obviously, in their rotation. Porzingis, Holiday, all those guys leaving. You now have like not a lot of guys who this is going to be like their first kind of run in the playoffs, at least in an elevated role. Like you're looking at Garza and Shireman types. So I think they may struggle early in the series and then kind of find their rhythm later on. Like I have no problems with Tatum and Brown, so I'll take the Celtics in 6. But yeah, I think they get the job done. All right, the number 1 overall seed in the East, you got the Pistons, and we're gonna write in the Hornets to beat the Magic. So Pistons Hornets, who wins that series?
Against the Hornets, I'll go Pistons in 6. If they play the Magic, I'll go Pistons in 5. But I think the Pistons just get out of the first round regardless.
Okay. So Pistons in 6, it was the Hornets, 5 of the Magic. All right. Ian, How do you see it playing out?
If they play the Hornets, I'll say Pistons in 6. If they play the Magic, I say Pistons sweep them.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, that would probably be a fitting end to the Magic season if it is them getting swept in the first round. Yeah, I would take the Pistons over the Hornets. Yeah, I kind of agree with probably 6. But I'll actually go. I'll take the Pistons in 7. I feel like the Hornets will probably frustrate them with their chaotic pace that they play, and I think there'll be more than one game where we look at it and we go, yeah, the Pistons need to find that consistent second scorer, but they'll find a way to kind of almost like the reverse of what happened to them against the Knicks, where they had a few games they had in hand, and then the Knicks would take it from them late. I could see that happening in this one, where the Hornets' inexperience kind of comes back to bite them over against the Pistons team. So I'll take the Pistons in 7. Right. And these I'll put like in a grab it and put up on the wire to wire page after the fact. All right, so obviously these series will take a while, so we probably won't have to make any more predictions for a couple of weeks because we know how they like to space out these games. So I guess with that, let's get into a little fun trivia here and close out the show. So for tonight's trivia, I'm gonna have Brett and Ian do like a little fantasy draft. So here are the parameters of the draft. We're gonna go off of points per game since 2000. So you can only pick players from 2000 to obviously this year. I guess you'll give me the player, and you can pick a season. I'll look up their points per game. I'll give you that as the point total. And the added thing is, so let's say Ian takes, Avery Bradley, and he obviously from the Celtics. The Celtics are now done and can't use them again. So Brett can't pick a Celtics player, and Ian can't pick another one. So you got to pick different teams. So you got to pick 2 guards, 2 forwards, a center, and a 6th man. So I guess wherever wants to start can go ahead with their first player.
You start, Ian.
I'll do Luka this year.
So right down. All right, so this year, let me get his actual number so I don't give you a wrong one. I know it's like 30 something. So this year he averaged 33 and a half. So 33 and a half points for you. All right, Brett, who's your first pick?
You said I'm aiming for points per game?
Yep.
I'll do.
You can take any season in your career from 2000 to this year.
All right, I'll take 06 Kobe.
Okay. Oh no, Lakers are taken because he took Luka.
Oh right, Luka. For some reason, it equated mentally went to the Mavericks immediately, so that's on me.
Yeah,
that's all right. I'll take 2021 Steph.
Oh, who?
2021 Steph Curry.
Okay.
I think that was a crisp like 30.1 points per game.
All right, so 2021. Yeah, he averaged 32 a game. All right. Ian, back to you.
I'll take 23 Jokic.
Okay. Get your big man out of the way. Except 2023. He averaged 26.4. All right, back to you, Brett.
Give me 2018 James Harden.
Okay. 2018 Harden. And that will give you 36.1.
Yeah, that James Harden guy was pretty good.
He was all right. All right, Ian, who you taking next?
I'll do Shea, and I'll do last year.
Okay. Shea. You said last year. That is going to be worth 32.7 points. All right, Brett.
For my power forward, I'll stick with my guy. I'll take trying to think what year I should do. I'll go 2024 Giannis.
All right, 2024 Giannis, 30.4 points. All right, 2024. All right, Ian, back to you. But right now you have, I guess, both forward spots available. Or if you want to go with your sixth man.
I'll do. Just trying to think of what year.
Okay.
I'll do last year Tatum.
Okay. So last year, Jason Tatum was 26.8 points per game. So that's forward. All right, Brett, back to you. You have a forward spot and your big man spot and your sixth man spot available.
I'll take 2003 Tracy McGrady.
All right, Tracy McGrady, 2003, you said?
Yeah.
All right, so 2003, Tracy McGrady, 28 points. Yeah. Reading that up. So McGrady. All right, Ian, back to you. What's up, Pavel? Let's go Raptors. Wild game between the Clippers and Warriors last night. Yeah, talk about that game earlier. And vintage Steph Curry and vintage Draymond Green performance. Does Kawhi go to Miami now? I think, Brett, you put this in Discord, like the whole insert star player to Miami offseason. Like, hey, if it's Kawhi, then it's Kawhi.
Yeah, it's every year. You know, it's Giannis last year, James Harden, Donovan Mitchell, like, you know, LeBron James again, Anthony Davis. Like, every star player gets linked to Miami.
Look, I think the offseason is going to be interesting for Kawhi, for sure. I mean, they even asked him about, which I hate when reporters do that. They asked him about, like, his future right after the game last night. And what did he say? Like, let him cry about this loss a little longer before he thinks about that. So, yeah. And we'll see. We'll see what happens with Kawhi. But yeah, so Ian, you have a forward spot and your sixth man left. Where do you want to go?
I'll do 05 Dirk.
05 Dirk. All right. Dirk Whiskey. 05. I gave you 26.6 points per game.
Let's say I'll take for my
Yeah, you
center.
got big man and 6 man left. So who are you taking?
2023 Embiid.
Okay. 2023 Embiid. He scored 34.7. All right. So now you both need a 6 man, which obviously you can use any position for. So Ian, back to you.
So what teams do we have?
So far, we've used the Lakers, Thunder, Celtics, Mavericks, Nuggets, Warriors, Rockets, Bucks, Sixers. Yeah.
I'll do 05 LeBron.
05 LeBron. Something. So 05 LeBron. Let's see. LeBron James 05. So in 05, he averaged 31.4. All right. So Brett, who is going to be your 6th man?
How he said since 2000? How about 2000, 2001 Allen Iverson?
Sixers are off the board because you took Embiid.
You are right. Who's another really good scorer? 2022 Donovan Mitchell.
So he was in 2022. He was in. Wasn't he in Cleveland at that point?
Yeah, I believe. Well, yeah, I believe so.
Because Ian just took LeBron, so the Cavs are off the board.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Wait, hold on. Because you said, Ian, you said, oh yeah, Ian took Cavs, LeBron. So yeah.
Okay. Took Cavs, LeBron. Okay. I almost want to make a pick just straight for the vibes. You know what?
It's always a fun idea.
I need my GOAT 6 man. Give me 2013 J.R. Smith for the love of the game.
All right, J.R. Smith.
I think it's like 18.6.
You said 2015?
2013, 6 man of the year. I think that's like 18.6 point per game here.
He averaged 18.1 points per game.
Close. It's like 5/10 off.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
That's pretty good. All right.
You always need that vibes guy. You give me another guy, I'm picking you down as Haslam. You need that that vet on the bench.
Okay. So let me calculate this. I actually think it's pretty close between the two teams. So 32, 36.1, 28, 30.4.
Honestly, my JR pick might have screwed me, but honestly, it's all right.
All right, so Brett's team, 179.3 points. Was Ian's team better than that? Let's find out. Half, 32.7, 26.8, 26.6, 26.4, 31.4. Ian's team was 177.4. So Brett got you by a bucket.
Ooh, J.R. Smith coming in clutch.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that change up the little fun trivia type stuff at the end of the show. I might revisit that, and maybe I'll create more parameters. We'll do like division based or something like that, or only conference based. I don't know. We'll see for next week. But yeah, that's all I had for you. I guess obviously appreciate you guys coming on, talking some sports, talking some NBA with us. Appreciate all of you in the chat. Ian, got anything you want to add before you get out of here?
No.
Man, you're in draft mode. You ready for the Giants to? And also, by bringing that up, next week is the draft, and Wire to Wire will be doing the live draft watch along for the first round. Did it last year, I think the year before. It was a lot of fun, and rumor has it, Ian will be there for the Giants pick. So you got to tune in.
You got to see the live reaction.
Anyway,
You got to see the live reaction when Roger comes up to the stage and goes, "The Giants select Jeremiah Love, running back."
My house might not be in one piece. Might be on my way to New York at that point.
Right.
Oh, show's officially TV 14 now. Okay, Ian's going nuts again.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's always a fun time. So that's happening next week, obviously, on the channel. Brett, anything you want to add before we get out of here? I guess what they can look forward to coming up later on.
You can catch up on more basketball talk in about an hour and a half with Mo and I at 8 p.m. Central on the And One podcast. And before you get to the draft, if you're a big fan of professional wrestling, the reason we didn't have Meaty Boys this Monday is because we're doing it not just Saturday, but Sunday. We're doing a WrestleMania watch-along. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm going to prepare for WrestleMania trivia. It's going to be a great time. So you just definitely check us out this weekend for our WrestleMania watch-along.
There you go. Got WrestleMania the weekend. Next Thursday, the draft. It's going to be a lot of fun here on the channel. So once again, appreciate all of you for tuning in, even those who may tune in after the fact. Make sure you're back next week for, I guess, another edition of On the Ball. So for myself and Ian and Brett, not guarding 2, guarding the 3, and as well, tomorrow, Passion and Precision, Jory, Key, and myself we'll talk about some NBA as well and some WNBA stuff going on over there. We're out of here. Enjoy the rest of your night, and I'll see you tomorrow. We'll see you all next week. All right, bye. Video loaded.